Molly, and this is Freya, and this is Gabrielle Upton. So we're going to interview a little bit. Is that okay?
That is absolutely fine.
Okay.
So what do you love about your job?
I love being able to help people, and in the role that I have as a Member of Parliament, I can do that. What I can usually do is listen to people, hear what they need to help them, and then be able to tell them where they need to go to solve their problem. I love being able to help people, and I love being able to have a challenge that I want to try and solve. We have an amazing part of Sydney and New South Wales and Australia and the area we live and you go to school. And if I wasn't an MP, I don't think I'd know about all the people that do so many different things here. So I get to see some of the really difficult things that go on in our local community. We have people here who really need our help, and that's my job to try and help them.
The Bondi Splice savers have been learning about electricity.
Do you know anything about electricity that you can tell us?
I don't. I think I'd like you to teach me. You know, I left school and I went to do a law degree. So after I left school, I didn't learn a lot more about science. But I used to love my chemistry and I used to love physics. And so I don't know much at all, but I'm hoping you can teach me.
Sure. So electricity is a form of energy. And let's say you have a battery. So in that battery is positive and negative charges. So there is electrons and protons. And what happens is when the circuit is closed, the electrons and protons jiggle, and it kind of forms like a domino effect, and they kind of jiggle against each other, which forms electrical energy. And electrical energy actually doesn't flow in the wire, it flows outside the wire.
And around the wire.
Yeah.
And the battery is basically acting like a pump. So that's how the domino effect is caused for them to jiggle.
And when the electrical energy, let's say it's to the light bulb, like in the video, when it gets that energy, it heats up and it forms light.
Right. Now, thank you for explaining that to me, because you know the hardest thing in the world to do is when something's really complicated, which explaining what energy is and explaining it simply, which you've both done, which is amazing. And I didn't understand it to be. I knew it had something to do with I was going to say subatomic elements, but actually electrons and protons are not subatomic particles. But I knew it had something to do with small parts of science that you can see, but I didn't know that's how electrical current was generated. So I think you're fantastic, because if at your stage of your learning, if you can explain a really complicated thing that took us hundreds and hundreds of years as a community to understand, if you can explain it simply as you did to me today, Freya and Holly, you've done a fantastic job, and your teachers are doing a great job, and your mum and dads and your carers. So, thank you.
Thank you, Upton.
That's a wrap.
There's an authority and they have a title, you think they must know. But if you have a curious question, you should always ask it.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can be right and they can be wrong. It takes a bit of courage, but it sounds like you've got that courage, and that's the best way to learn. And that's how inventions happen. Fantastically creative things where people challenge what people of authority are telling them in a nice way, in a polite way.
Yeah.
You don't be disrespectful, but asking curious questions is how we discover great things in our community and how we learn. So it's fantastic, and that was interesting to me because all those amazing scientists. I think was it MIT?
Yeah.
Yeah, MIT, the top institution in terms of science and technology in the world. There's no question about that. That when those students, who graduates of one of the best institutions in the world, were asked a simple question, most of them felt the need to say yes, because they figure, well, you know, I've done all this learning, I'm come from the best institution. But in fact, you know, it's also, you should never worry about saying no to something or I don't know. That's what I try and remember every day, that I don't know everything and I don't pretend I know everything. So I figure if there's something that I don't know, I should say I don't know. And then you usually find somebody else doesn't know as well. So you're helping not only yourself but the person who's standing and hasn't been brave enough to say that. So fantastic.